What I'm saying, folks, is that death and dying, serious illness, tragedies, disasters are not funny, but funny things happen. And so I want to share with you how I come to do this work, because it came out of a time in my life when I had to change my attitude, when I had to see things differently. And it started a little over 30 years ago. My wife, Ellen, went to the doctor just for a checkup, and they did some tests. A couple of days later, the doctor called back. Oh, yeah, hi, Ellen. You know, I'm glad I got you in. You know those tests we did? Yeah, well, I need to put you in the hospital and do some more tests. Well, I think it's primary biliary cirrhosis, rare disease of the liver, and what I'm uncertain of is that mostly women over 65 get this, and you're 31. So, you know, I'll have the gal, you know, make arrangements for a bed, and what? Prognosis? About 3 years. And indeed, folks, Ellen did pass away 3 years later. And needless to say, it was a very difficult time. But Ellen had a great sense of humor and used it even during those 3 years. I remember she was in the hospital with a copy of Playgirl magazine with the male nude centerfold, and she said, Ellen, I really like this picture this month. Can you put it on the wall by the bed over here? And I said, Ellen, it's a hospital. A little risque for that. She said, well, maybe you're right. She said, why don't you get a leaf from a plant and cover up this part? And I did that, and things are fine for the first day, fine for the second day, but by the third day, the leaves start shriveling up. Well, you get the picture. We came home from the hospital, and we would just look at a leaf or a plant, and we would start to laugh. And I realized, folks, it wasn't a lot of laughter. It was 5 or 10 seconds. But it helped us get that perspective that humor gives, help us get a reprieve, help us get a moment away from what was happening. So after Ellen died, I went back to school to learn about death and dying. I had a business I gave up. I became the director of a hospice volunteer and the director of a life-death transition program. And I went back to school to learn about the healing power of humor, and it turned into my first book. I guess, folks, I would give anything to have Ellen back again. Can't have that. But what I do have is a message which I share with people worldwide, and that is that you may be in pain, but you do not have to suffer. You may be in pain, but you do not have to suffer. And it's the humor that could help you rise above a situation so that you don't suffer. There's a Chinese proverb I like. It says, you cannot prevent the birds from flying overhead, but you can prevent them from making nests in your hair. Not my hair, but what they're talking about, folks, is the middle letter in L-A-U-G-H. L was let go, A, attitude, U is Y-O-U. You're the only one that can let go and change your attitude. So I want to share just a couple of ways that you can do that. At work, particularly, you might want to have some signs around, like this one. Do the budget cutbacks. Light the end of the tunnel will be turned off until further notice. Or a sign like this by Alan King. You do live longer with a brand, but you spend the last 15 years on the toilet. And maybe you came to a conference like this and you did lots, oops, another sign, I'm sorry. In case of fire, exit building before tweeting about it. As I was saying, maybe you came to a meeting like this, you did lots of planning and things didn't work out well, and you need to send a memo about it to other people in your college. You might want to use this cartoon, things didn't work out well. You might want to look for funny bumper stickers when you're in traffic jams like this one. Be nice to your kids. They choose your nursing home. And what I'm talking about here, folks, is the fourth letter in L-A-U-G-H. G is to go do it. L, let go. A, change your attitude. U, Y-O-U, need to G, go do it. And what do cartoonists do? They take everyday kind of difficult situations and show us we can lighten up about it. So I want to share some of those with you, because that's one tip. Have some cartoons around. I have 14 tips in the Healing Power of Humor. That's one of them. So here's in a hospital setting. I thought the engineers fixed that. A first post-operative gas release. Nice job of lettering, but therapist is one word. And here's some medical diagnosis. I'm afraid it's a yeast infection. It would seem you have a small anal fissure, Mr. Duffy. And here, folks, is a CAT scanner. And this next cartoon, this cartoon's for women in the audience only, so man, you might not want to look at this. This is if women ruled medicine, there'd be the manogram. And here are people, I'm sure these are people just like everyone in the room, like you. These are people who work their butts off. And speaking about people who work their butts off, I written a song just about some of the things you do that I think you might get a little chuckle out of. So I'd like to sing that. Clean audits, state approvals, and a successful compliance review. Graduations and promotions all make me shout, Yahoo! Alumni successes cause my heart to sing. These are a few of my favorite things. But then there are long staff meeting, bosses who change their mind, and stupid legislation. The dim job market, difficult people, and the U.S. Department of Education. The 1,200 pages of regulations tied up with string. These are a few of my least favorite things. When a teacher doesn't show, when traffic is incredibly slow, when an inferior program makes me mad, I simply remember the great education I'm providing, and then I don't feel so bad when a student defaults on a loan, when regulators never answer their phone, when negative media makes me mad. I simply remember the careers I've inspired, and then I don't feel so bad. Thank you. Thank you. We've just looked at some exaggerated cartoons. Here's some in your industry. This is about student loans. Sorry, but no, I can't lend you a student to help you clean up your yard. Do you have any other collateral besides the email from a Nigerian prince? And here's 2 cartoons about compliance. Moses talking to God. How long do we have to get in compliance? Armed robbery, eh? I'm in for being out of compliance with a federal guideline. And our economy's not so great today, so if we exaggerate that, maybe our money should look like this. And I know that telephones annoy us, so you might want to have some cartoons around to exaggerate that, like these 2. If you like to press 1, press 3, like to press 3, press 8, like to press 8, press 5. If you'd like to pass the time by speaking to someone else who's on hold, press 4. And computers are great, but sometimes they annoy us, so you might want to have a cartoon like this one. All I did was hit the delete button. And the final 2 exaggerated cartoons, we're all getting older in this room. Some of us don't like aging, so might want to lighten it up like this. Gosh, I remember when happy hour was something other than a good bowel movement. I thought that somebody was pinching my bottom, and then I realized I was stepping on it. So one technique, take anything that annoys you and exaggerate it, like these cartoons, till you find the humor. Second technique is also really simple. Have a little reminder, prop, something to remind you to lighten up. I have those little reminders for you today. They're in the packets that say, do not open. Most of you have it on your chair. Some of you did not have some. Take the packet and hold it in your hand. Hold it in your hand. You don't have to hold it up, just in your hand. And close your eyes. Packet in hand, eyes closed. And think about some little negative stress, either in your industry or something you're dealing with personally. And just concentrate on that for about 10 seconds till I tell you. Okay, with that in mind, negative thing in mind, keep your eyes closed, open the packet, take out what's inside that packet and put it on your nose, and then open your eyes and look around the room. Put on your nose. Once it's on your nose, open your eyes and look around the room. Okay, you can open your eyes now if they're not open. Let me ask you folks, what happened to some of the stress, negative things you were thinking about when you started to laugh? Forgot about it. Instant power of humor. Invite you to take these with you. Use it at staff meetings. Use it in traffic jams. But just play with your nose and see what happens. All of this, folks, is leading us up to the last letter in L, A, U, G, H. L was let go. A, attitude. U, Y, O, U, need to G. Go do it. And H, open your humor eyes and ears and look around, because there is humor all around us. For instance, in California, I don't know if you know it, but if you're speeding on the highway, they often will stop you, not stop you, but as you're going on the highway speeding, take a photo of your license plate, send that with a ticket to you. So this man got a envelope from the police. He opened it up, and it was speeding, photo of his license plate, and a $100 ticket. So he sent back the police a photo of two 50s. Next week, he gets an envelope from the police. He opens it up, a picture of handcuffs. So, folks, there is humor all around if you just remember to let go, change your attitude, go do it, and open your humor and eyes and ears and look for humor. I have a website if you want more information about that. I also have some of my books here, Healing Power of Humor, Courage to Laugh. My latest book, Change Your Life. And I had an audio book come out last week. If you have a great teacher you want to give a little reward to, it's called Teacher Laughs, either on Amazon or audible.com. I do have a quick closing process I'd like to do with you. So I'd like you to take an oath to get more laughter, humor, and play in your life. So would you please all raise your right hand? No, not get up. Raise your right hand. Take your right index finger and put it on your nose. Take your left hand and hold your earlobe. And now repeat after me, starting right now. I will get more laughter and play in my life. So help me, Groucho Marx. That's it, folks. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, and thank you, Alan. Alan will be available after the session this morning, and you'll have some time to talk with him then, okay? Let's give him another round of applause.